Start.
Hi, my name is Kelly, and this is my dad, Kevin, and this is Koby, and he's been on the protocol for 2 months now, and so a lot of the major improvements that we've seen is he's been consistently peeing on his potty a lot better, whereas before you would sit him on it and like it just wasn't registering like nothing. But every day, like more and more, you know, you'll tell him to go potty and he'll go pull his little undies down and sit and pee, and so it's just that's been a great improvement. And then also his conversation is getting a lot better. He's been asking more questions, showing more concern and interest in like what other people are doing. Like he'll come up to me and say, "What are you doing?" Or he'll ask like, "Are you okay?" Or, you know, just different questions. Also, what else?
So I think one of the things, the questions is a big deal, because I think when we started this, we were working in speech therapy just to get him to answer questions on his own. So over the past 30 days, we've seen him start to ask questions, which was something he had just never did. I mean, for 3 years, he never walked up to you and asked you a question. So now, you know, there's a ton of questions being asked. It's also the type of thing where you can tell he's just engaging in the world a heck of a lot more, in terms of even to the point of just getting jokes or understanding when you're laughing about something, you know. And it's the type of thing that's, you know, the other thing that's just very interesting that happened, and I don't think this happened before, was he's relating personal experiences even from the previous day. So I think it was last week, he actually told his grandmother, who was away on a trip, you know, about going to the apple orchard. And he went to the apple orchard the previous day, and it wasn't just that he went to the apple orchard. You know, he started listing, I picked pumpkins, I ate apples, you know, that type of a thing. So we're seeing the sentence structure, you know, become a lot more. But that was interesting for me. It was because, wow, I just never really remember him, you know, relaying something from the previous day, you know, for example. And then we had other example that I noted. This was one time when we had went out to eat with him, and then, I mean, you weren't there. And when he saw you, he came and told you I had pancake, I had eggs, that type of thing. Yeah. So, you know, so
Don't say pancakes unless you got some, right?
Also, he's been answering questions as well a lot more consistently. Like I'll ask him now, like, "How old are you?" He'll say 3. I ask him what his name is. He'll say Koby.
Well, let's see.
Are you gonna answer?
Answer?
Yeah. What's your name?
No.
No.
That's the other thing. He purposefully jokes, so he knows that's not his name. But to him, that's funny, because, you know, his Auntie Gina is one of his favorite people to pick on right about now. And I one of the things that happened, and this is in terms of pulling other people in. You know, one time I was joking with Koby, and I was just, you know, saying, "Big head Koby," and then he joked back with me, and he said, "Big head G-Daddy," and then he turned to his Auntie Gina that was in the room and said, "Big head Auntie Gina." So it's that type of a thing. He's pulling other people into the conversation.
It looks like you just said, "That's my punchline," and he had to get it before you did.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. You're actually gonna get you.
Right.
No, Big head Koby.
Yeah. So, you know, a lot of stuff like that. But then on the flip side, you know, we did notice as the language increased and different things like that, also cravings for sugar increased. And I think he was good kind of playing one versus the other, and, you know, the other day he ended up getting a whole bunch of Oreos that he shouldn't have got. So on the flip side, one of the things that we're looking to do, you know, is work on, you know, how do you balance these cravings, you know, based upon your leadership and how you explained it, and also knowing that, you know, that's not good. The sugar it's craving it because you're killing these pathogens and they're trying their best to survive. So
Right, and we had not explained to you the position about not getting the sugar into them. You know, so that that was on us, I guess. You know.
so that was good. The another, let me see what this is. Another thing that that I had noticed was he used to have, I mean, this is a couple months ago, but a lot of separation anxiety when someone would leave. And then it got to the point where anybody in the house leave, he pretty much had some anxiety. And it was interesting to me just last week, his mom left, so we haven't been really dealing with the separation anxiety, but he came up and told me, my mom need to go to the store. I'm like, oh, okay. So definitely, we're seeing more and more.
Or like, if I'm leaving to go to work, he knows I work overnight, so he's, see you tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
And then probably my last one in terms of the answering questions, so this is kind of adding a little bit to it. And again, he wanted a popsicle, so this is kind of that sugar craving stuff that we had to deal with. But so then we got to the point, we went to the refrigerator to get it, and I went to grab it out, and he's like, the purple one, so he's telling me specifically what he wants. And I know before we started any of this protocol, it was the whole thing of just not being able to express those wants and needs and desires. So we're seeing that, in spades.
Yeah, he won't even let you just put a shirt on him. Like, you gotta give him choices.
Oh,
He'll
wow.
pick out his shirt, he'll pick out his shoes. He'll say no if you don't want to wear those shoes. Like, so.
So it sounds like he's a lot more present than he was before.
Yeah.
So he's, and as my wife's comment says, he's advocating for himself. He knows what he wants. He has preferences,
Yeah.
and he's expressing his preferences. That's phenomenal.
And the thing about it, though, and this was, again, because I just tried to see how he was going to do certain things. So I was getting him dressed one day, and he had, something on, and it was some Nike pants, and they had like a white swoosh, and he came up to me with some black shoes, and he wanted to wear those shoes. And I said, no, Kobe, you got to wear the white ones because the black ones don't match. Look, right there. And at that point, he was okay with switching over to the, to the white one. So how much of that he got, I don't know, but I'm like, hey, I'll try it. And that worked. He wasn't, like...
Just to see what your response was going to be. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you find that he's fixated on anything?
Yes, a lot more. So over the past couple of weeks, there's been basically a fixation that developed with Peppa Pig. So when we have some meltdowns or issues, it's generally if, one day my wife didn't know how to find it and put it on, so he wanted to watch it, and, that was kind of an issue. And he hasn't been watching a ton of TV, but if it is TV, it's Peppa Pig, and it's hard to get him to go to something else. And that's all very recent, just over the past couple weeks.
So this, during your first 30 days, he didn't have those types of fixations?
No.
So only on the second phase of the protocol, over the last couple of weeks, you've noticed fixations.
Correct.
But our point is, this is also at the same time that he was having the cravings for the sugar.
Yeah.
So what we want to see is if we're able to deal with those cravings,
Nice.
if those fixations will go away.
Right.
So
Are you fixing her hair?
So, yeah, no, exactly. If there was one other story that I wanted to tell that I was forgetting about.
Oh, you are?
what did he say?
He's fixing her hair.
Ponytail.
Ponytail.
He said Kobe's hair.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh,
No,
maybe
he said ponytail. He just said ponytail. Fixing your ponytail. But one story I wanted to talk about, because I thought this was interesting as well. And it's all this little subtle stuff, but when you realize that, hey, this kid wasn't doing this a couple months ago,
right.
you just take it for granted. But we were playing with the Mr. Potato Heads. And so then he got to the point where it's not just enough to put the stuff on the Mr. Potato Head, so he got a little set of the glasses for him that he got on, but since I'm sitting there playing, he's like, here, G-Dad, here. So then I had to put on the little Mr. Potato. So this big old head with a little itty bitty set of Mr. Potato Head glasses, it we have to sit there, for 5 minutes or however long we're playing with Mr. Potato Head, we're wearing this stuff as well. But
Right,
when you just look at that, not only is it, joint attention, I'm pulling you in, I'm telling you, hey, here, you need to do this too. It's all of that extra communication is all stuff that we weren't getting before, but we're getting, after being on the protocol.
So that's not just communication, that's interaction.
Right.
Oh, for sure, interaction.
I
That's right.
Interaction.
All right, guys. So you would definitely recommend the protocol call to others.
Yes, absolutely.
Say bye.
Before we leave, there's one thing, Kelly. You mentioned last time on the last video that he was opening up. He was eating more things. Now, has that diminished on since he started eating the sugar, or is he still open?
I don't know if he stopped eating like a different variety of things, but he has been eating less, just in general. So, what do you think?
I would say he's more restrictive now over the last couple of weeks, with the whole sugar deal,
Right.
From that perspective. And a lot of it is the, kind of like, I don't want nothing but some cookies, that type of thing. So how much of it is, I'm having this craving, and yeah, as much as that food is appetizing, I really want to.
Right. All right. So that's definitely one of the things we want to check back and see if we resolved in next month, after the next 30 days, is the cravings for sugar. Because I think that's you even mentioned some of his meltdowns, and that he had an increase in meltdowns recently, and we believe those also correspond to the cravings for sugar. Okay.
Yeah.
And just so you know, that is a part of the second stage of the protocol, that that cravings are increased. And then hopefully what we're trying to do with this third stage is to add more nutrients to diminish that. So we'll get a feel to see, I'm going to zoom back and see if I can get it. We'll get a feel to see if that actually happens.
Right.
Can we get, Kobe, can you say goodbye like you did last time, Kobe? Say goodbye. Nothing.
Say bye to the cameras.
They are digging up my nose.
Oh no! Oh, that's nasty.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Bye bye. See you next time.
Oh, not this time. But you guys definitely recommend the protocol, correct?
Yeah.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, I gave the the website and the information to a colleague at work, and this is a young lady that actually her nephew is going through some things, so you may be getting a
Call.
call.
We welcome it. We welcome it.
All right, see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Oh, you got a little bye from him. There it is.
So those people ain't leaving. Last time I was like ready for them to go.